perfect given how many people are stuck in traffic right now, or got stuck in traffic this morning. I wanted to talk a little bit about patience. Patience is not a virtue that I was naturally blessed with. My dad has told me a couple of times that I'm the most impatient person he's ever met. And I thought that was a little bit extreme. But then when I think about it, I think about the fact that sometimes I just get really anxious and I don't have faith that things are going to work out eventually. I kind of have this thought process that's like, well, if it's not happening right now, it's going to never happen. And I sort of freak out. And sometimes I also lack faith in my own resilience, my ability to wait and survive until the thing that I'm hoping for happens. So I'm going to share an example of a time that I was sort of forced to be patient, which I don't think anybody ever chooses. Like, I'm just going to wait a really long time. My partner, Cece, and I decided in 2010 that we wanted to start trying to become parents. And that process took 4.5 years. 2.5 of that was devoted to the adoption process, which is a really difficult process. You know, first you have to fill out a ton of paperwork. You have to share pretty much every detail of your life. And you have a social worker who visits your home, and I would imagine that this is a feeling that's shared by other people who've dealt with this system in different ways. But I just felt like, I know what's in my heart. I know who I am. Why do I have to prove myself over and over and over? It didn't feel quite fair. And then once we were approved to adopt, we started getting contacted by various expectant mothers who were considering adoption for their babies. And we went through a process called open adoption, where a birth mother chooses the family that's going to adopt her baby. And it's a process we really believe in, but it's also difficult because we talked to a lot of women who weren't sure about their choices yet, and who either kind of disappeared after we started talking to them, or who chose other families, which was really painful, or who there was one woman who was kind of mean to me when she decided that we weren't the right family for her. And all of this was going on the first year that I was working at Homeboys. So a lot of people in this room have, I know Alexa and Mary Ellen and Kendra and Jackie and Teresa and Mary and Christy and the entire creative writing class. Pretty much all of you at some point heard me cry or express frustration with this process. And sometimes I wondered, does the universe just not want me to be a mom? And it kind of chipped away at my self-esteem. But a funny thing happened, which is that my self-esteem also began to grow a little bit. I started to realize that I was more resilient than I thought I was. I realized, oh, you know what? I can survive the process of getting my hopes up and then getting disappointed. I just feel those feelings and then I move on. And I can survive getting yelled at by a very hormonal pregnant woman. That was what she needed to do. I encountered this is actually a song lyric. There's a band called Mariachi El Bronx, and there's a lyric in one of their songs that says, "Faith isn't magic, but it's keeping my foot in the door." And I think that applies to so many things that we want. Whether you're working towards finishing school, or you're trying to find a job, or you're trying to get your kids back. Faith it's not going to magically create what you want. But if you hang around long enough, if you stick with the process and you believe in your own abilities, good things will happen. Maybe some bad things will happen as well, because that's kind of how life is, but you'll get through the bad things because you have before. I feel like everybody in this room has gotten through really awful things. And, rather than have that be something negative in your life. It's what's made you resilient and what will give you the skills to get where you're going next. So in 2014, we were contacted by a really wonderful woman who was 8 months pregnant, and we had some ups and downs together, but in January of 2015, we met our son, Dash, who a lot of you have met. He's a 1.5 years old right now. He's entering those toddler years, meaning his favorite things are to like hit things with a broom and pull our cat's tail. So I think that I will really be learning a lot more patience going forward. Thank you.